Hi. So it's the end of 13th of July, and let's first have a look at Nifty 50 companies, and then eventually हम लोग फिर डिफरेंट सेक्टर्स में थोड़े थोड़े करके पिक करेंगे, और फिर बाद में जाके हम लोग जितने भी एफ एन अकाउंटर्स हैं उसमें क्या क्या पोजीशंस बनी हैं वो हम देखेंगे. सो अगर हम लोग टॉप ब्रांच इस क्वाड्रेंट में देखते हैं, यहाँ पे बहुत बड़े बड़े नाम हैं. HDFC, ICICI बैंक, सन फार्मा ने बहुत अच्छा क्लोजिंग दिया. दिस वाज बियॉन्ड माय इमेजिनेशन. मैं सोचा था 686 वाज अ टफ रेजिस्टेंस, जिसमें मैंने बुक भी कर लिया. बट इट सीम्स लाइक देयर आर पोजीशंस व्हिच आर गेटिंग एडेड, एंड इवेंचुअली सन फार्मा में हैव सम मोर अपसाइड. यहाँ पे अगर हम देखते हैं तो कंपनीज लाइक SBI लाइफ क्लोज एट ऑल टाइम हाई, और एक्सिस बैंक में पोजीशंस अच्छी बन रही हैं. दिस इज ऑल्सो नियर इट्स ऑल टाइम हाई. ICICI बैंक भी गिव अ गुड क्लोजिंग, एंड HDFC लाइफ is also something which we were tracking since yesterday. कल ही मैंने इस पे वीडियो बनाया और बोला था, and today we were able to get a very good move from 683 to 690 region. I will suggest to keep a track on HDFC Life, as this is a very good reversal candidate. और उसके अलावा हम देख सकते हैं लॉसन एंड टूबलो में अच्छी एक बाइंग आई, एंड दिस इज़ ऑल्सो ट्रू फॉर कोटक बैंक एज वेल एज ONGC. स्टिल हैज़ अ रेजिस्टेंस एट 120. ये हम लोगों को थोड़ा सा देखना पड़ेगा अगर 120 ले पाती करें. HDFC बैंक गेव अ गुड क्लोजिंग. सो ओवरऑल यू कैन सी दैट just looking at the top quadrant, यहाँ पे हम बड़े बड़े नाम just like ICICI, HDFC बैंक, SBI लाइफ और HDFC लाइफ और कोटक बैंक यहाँ पे देख रहे हैं टुगेदर विद लॉसन एंड टूबलो. सो देयर आर गुड प्लेयर्स जो निफ्टी को सपोर्ट दिए हैं. और रिलायंस वॉज ट्रेंडिंग टूवर्ड्स द बॉटम क्वाड्रेंट अगर आप मेरे मार्केट वॉच देखते हो. So this is the first time I am seeing Reliance coming towards the top, and this is actually a very good news for the market. Or Reliance may in the short term go towards 2140. Reliance पे मैं वीडियो ऑलरेडी पोस्ट कर चुका हूँ. State Bank of India was able to close at 430, and so over here I think going forward all of the constituents, they look really good. The only thing is I think TATAMOTORS is also very much up for reversal, and we should be trying to track 312 and 316 levels going forward. और इसके अलावा पोजीशंस बन रही हैं बजाज ऑटो में. दिस इज़ ऑलरेडी वीक, एंड दिस वी did trade in the short, and so basically 4000 is turning out to be a hard resistance. If it gives a closing above 4000, then maybe things will change very drastically. अब हम जैसे नीचे आ रहे हैं, यहाँ पे आप देख सकते हो बजाज फिनसर्व है, और bunch of IT companies है, TCS, Infi, Wipro, and so this was exactly the reason मैं पहले से ही since this last week स्टार्टिंग से ही, मतलब अभी कुछ 7 सेशंस हो गई हैं where I was telling stay away from IT companies for now, and it seems like those who have heard, those who have followed, they are not regretting. और इसके अलावा पावर ग्रिड में अच्छी ट्रेंड बन रही है, एंड मे बी विथ सच लार्ज रेजिस्टेंस एट 230 रीजन में बहुत स्ट्रॉन्ग रेजिस्टेंस है. सो मे बी इट वोंट बी एबल टू क्रॉस इट ईजिली. जब हम एकदम लोअर क्वाड्रेंट में जाते हैं, यहाँ पे टेक महिंद्रा आती है, HCL टेक आती है, मारुति आती है. सो बेसिकली द IT सेक्टर इज डेफिनेटली नॉट वन ऑफ द सेक्टर्स यू वांट टू बी इन. एंड द वर्स्ट परफॉर्मिंग जो ट्रेंड वाइज जो है वो है अदानी पोर्ट, एंड अदानी पोर्ट इज the last in terms of my trend analysis algorithm. And together you can see Tata Consumer started off at 780, and it went towards 770. So we have to have a look of what happens in Tata Consumer, and also Dr. Reddy closed near day's low, and it seems like it's getting in trend, so there can be more weakness in Dr. Reddy. Now let's do a quick analysis. So from a sectorial perspective, Bank Nifty is working in Nifty 50, and IT is definitely not working. This is very clear. Now let's do a quick sectorial review. So this is financials. In the financials, we have already seen that these are the top banks which are all placed over here. And if we scroll below, we can see the worst performing ones are LIC Housing Finance is getting a good is a good reversal candidate, so it should be in your tracker. And similarly, AU Bank is also trying to get a support at 1180 levels. So these, other than these two companies, we don't. ICICI closed at day's low, and this was also what was discussed in the morning. ICICI was weak throughout the day, and we have to see if it is able to sustain the 1550 support which it has. From automotive sector, we see Motherson Sumi, it went towards 242, but again the trend is getting weaker, and this is also what we saw yesterday. And but still it was able to cross 240 and give a strong closing, but again the trend is weaker, and this was also the case yesterday for also. And in this automotive sector, the best performing one from a trend perspective was MRF, but it seems like the trend is not yet mature enough. Rather, I took a trade in APOLLOTYRE, which was posted in Twitter, and we were able to trade from 234 to 236 levels. And APOLLOTYRE gave a really good run, and it seems like positions are still getting added. And this is also true for Bosch Limited, where we can see positions getting added. Ashok Leyland was finally able to close above 126. We are going to do a small quick chart analysis, and then we will see why 126 is so important. Tata Motors also seems like it is trying to reverse, and maybe going forward, maybe Tata Motors can touch the levels of 318 and 320 eventually. So automotive may be 30 बनी है, लेकिन अगर आप वीकनेस देखो तो एस्कॉट्स में है, और आयशा मोटर में वीकनेस है. इट क्लोज एट डेज लो. मारुति में है, बट इन जनरल देयर इज नॉट मच पोजीशंस which are getting added. The only one good candidate for reversal which turns out is BAJAJ-AUTO. So BAJAJ-AUTO is facing some resistance at 4,000, so that would be one of the trades which I would be tracking in the automotive. From cement sector, there's not much. All the cement companies other than Ramco, as it was discussed in the morning, we were talking about 1100. So Ramco went towards 1100, and then it was able to reverse. So we have to see if this 1100 support works for Ramco in the near future. The companies in FMCG sector, we can see that all of them have red candles. So BATAINDIA gave a good move, and it was trying to reverse. So maybe BATAINDIA is one of the reversal candidates, or maybe we have to see if it's able to take a support at 1550 levels. Similarly, Coalpal also is trying to reverse and take a support from 1720 regions. Other than that, there's not much, and you can see that today was not a FMCG day, and this was already discussed at 10:30 in the morning, or at 10 o'clock in the morning, when I made the first market watch, which you will find in my channel, जहाँ पे मैंने IT और FMCG बोला था कि आज चलेगी नहीं, and this you can easily see. We even shorted Havels at the very opening, and this turned out to be a very good trade also. So let's go and see what all IT is. We have already discussed. All of them are weak, and Mindtree, there are just some positions getting added, but again Mindtree, as I said, these positions are mainly for a result play, and this actually makes no sense because the stock is going to react to result tomorrow. Emphasis is also trying to reverse, and this might be a very good candidate. One of the companies which where we are seeing that it's the weakness is increasing is LTTS. So LTTS closed below 2900, and now maybe there is more weakness to come in the coming days. When we look into the steel sector, so Hindalco. We selected Hindalco day before yesterday for and so we were able to get a good move till from 390 to 394, and this trade was also closed in the morning, and it was tweeted way back then. And other than that, there is not much which is happening. There are some positions which are getting NMDC, you can see there's a lower wick which suggests that there are some buyers, but again this is not in the trend, so I would suggest to stay away from it. Now let's look into the working of pharma sector. So SUNPHARMA gave a good move, and it seems like there are positions which are getting added. So maybe going forward, if SUNPHARMA is able to hold the 680 region, so there may be new targets coming in SUNPHARMA. And this is also true for Oro Pharma and Lupin. They also gave a good move, but they are still not in the trend right now as the end of the data. And Lupin, Cipla, just like Lupin, also faced some resistance from the upper levels, and this is also true for Glenmark. We shorted Glenmark, and so it was also a good trade. It seems like the breakout which happened in Glenmark has failed, and eventually हम लोग जब चार्ट देखेंगे Glenmark का, so we will understand what I mean by the breakout. And so it was in a box. It tried to go away from the box, but eventually it failed and it closed at the day's low. This is also true for TORNTPHARMA, made an all-time high and then it closed towards day low. And we can see eventually that maybe if 3000 levels are held, maybe TORNTPHARMA can do a good reversal from here. And so nothing much is happening in Biocon and in the Wizlab and Cadillac. Maybe Dr. Reddy is getting weaker, and so maybe this will be a very good short trade. And this is also true for APPL Limited, where we can see that there is a more weakness which is creeping in, and we have to see if it's able to revert from the levels of 960. Granules is also one of the trades which is sort of looks like it can reverse very soon from 365, but we have to actually have a close look on Granules. So in general, if you see the sectors or the companies which are trending in the top, we can see that though these companies gave a good move, but they are all losing steam, and they are losing their momentum. So definitely RDC India, Motherson Sumi, TVS Motor, Indian Hotels, HDFC Life and Coal India, they are losing their strength, as well as companies like SBILIFE Trent and is looking good. APOLLOTYRE is looking good. SUNPHARMA is looking good, and so is AXISBANK. So definitely these are the top companies for which I would be looking for long trades. And if we go towards the bottom, we can see that companies like Navin Fluorine are very good candidates for reversal, and this is also getting true for Page Industry, which made an all-time high yesterday, and maybe also Strassfin, which is also going to which may give a good move by reversing from the current levels of 1420s. Naukri was a trade which we took, and we said, and it closed at day's low, and I think Naukri has more weakness, and maybe going forward it will get some support at 5000 regions, which is also psychological support. And this is also true for Dr. Reddy, and as well as for ICICI Lombard and LTTS. So I think these companies are there is a trend weakness, whereas the companies like TORNTPHARMA, for example, is a very good reversal candidate, and we have to see if it is able to reverse from here. And this SUNTV is also has a support at 520, so maybe SUNTV is also trying to reverse from the levels of 520. So in general, you can see that these are the companies which are looking good for reversal. Very strong trending companies are companies like ABFRL, which we identified at 10 o'clock, and we were able to take a good trade. And it seems like ABFRL can, if it gaps up and opens at above 225, then theoretically ABFRL can give more more run from the current levels. IRCTC, the trend is getting weaker, so I would definitely be moving out from IRCTC. RAMCOCEM is looking weaker, and it seems like the positions are getting added, so we have to have a short view on companies like Coromandel and RAMCOCEM to start with. We had already shorted Coromandel at 900 and it went towards 875 towards closing. So this was a good trade, a short trade, which was a swing trade. So these are all about the companies and the sectors we discussed. Hope this video is going to help you in identifying which all companies you should stick to and which all companies are showing strength. In general, the market, if you are looking in the breadth of the market, you can see that most of the companies, they are not able to hold higher levels. So if you look into just anywhere, so you will see that companies like CanBank, UPL, so they all have higher wicks. So Bharat Forge made an all-time high, 52-week high, and then there was a sell-off. And this is also true for Indian hotels. Say for here, this is Gale, Lupin. So no matter what, whenever the company tries to give a good move in the first half, they all get sold off. And there are very few companies which are able to hold off to their gains. And in general, the market looks to be backed up by Bank Nifty. Especially companies like ICICI Bank, Axis Bank, and we identified Axis and ICICI way back at 10 o'clock in the morning. You can find that video. It will be attached in the upper right hand corner. Hope this analysis is going to give you an rough idea about which trades I would be tracking for the first half of tomorrow's trade. Best of luck, and hope this analysis is helping you, and thank you. Bye bye.